Chair Falk, members of the committee, I am still Deb Lindsey, Director of Research and Assessment with the district. And with me tonight is Anita Pietrykowski, the Director of Administrative Accountability. She and I serve as co-leaders for the Accountability and Evaluation Functional Plan. And so tonight what we're going to do is to provide you with an overview, and I can't seem to find my notes now, but that's okay, of our functional plan. I'm going to start with this overview by just kind of walking you through the components of the plan. Anita is going to discuss with you some of the guts of the plan itself, and then I'll finish up with talking about who participated in the development of our plan. So I'm looking at the Accountability and Evaluation Functional Plan. Beginning on page 3 is the executive summary, which primarily is comprised of a background section. This background section does just that. It gives the reader some background information about the major components of the plan. For us, as we developed the plan, we began to think about evaluation and accountability as it related to 4 major things, including staff, schools, programs, and departments. And so that's how we bucketed the ideas as we developed the plan throughout. And so there's a little bit of background on all 4 of those items in that section. If you look at page 8, page 8 shows the alignment of this functional plan to strategies in the Working Together Achieving More strategic plan. So for example, the first goal that we reference here comes directly out of the strategic plan. Goal Area 3, leaders and staff demonstrate continuous improvement through focused professional development. And so the strategies that this functional plan addresses are listed right there in italics underneath. The implementation section of the functional plan begins with the needs assessment on page 10. The needs assessment on page 10 really began with an enormous inventory of data that we have on existing systems to evaluate, again, staff, schools, programs, and departments. Each of those sections of data is followed by a series of urgent facts that we developed along with our team. Page 16, section 5, the overview of the goals and measurable objectives, highlights the goals that are in our plan. Our plan has 2 major goals. Again, you can see consistency with those 4 themes that I talked about and the objectives in our plan. These objectives, these measurable objectives in the Accountability and Evaluation Plan, many of them are direct duplicates of metrics in the strategic plan. The guts of the plan is section 5, the management plan, and that really outlines for us how we intend to achieve each and every one of those objectives. It shows what strategies we've selected to achieve those objectives, the funding source that aligns with that work, and who is primarily responsible for achieving that work, completing those tasks. There's the section on community collaboration, which I'll talk about when Anita finishes her section. There is, on page 27, a communication and dissemination plan. And the evaluation section 8 on page 29, reference to budgets, which you all have already spoken about earlier this evening. And our appendix is, we have 2 appendices. One that provides a great deal of detail on our existing staff evaluation systems, program evaluation, school evaluation systems, et cetera, that we did not include either in the needs assessment or in the background, but provides more reference material for the reader. And then finally, we have section 7, some relevant research and best practices. We did a literature review, and that's information from that literature review, and the research is part of what drove the practices and the strategies that we selected in our plan.
And Director Falk and members of the school board, Anita Pietrykowski, Director of the Department of Administrative Accountability. What I'd like to do is just go over about 5 major points about our evaluation and accountability functional plan in terms of the objectives and strategies. And I'm referring to then some of the strategies and objectives that are identified on page 17 of the plan. First of all, for Goal 1, that all staff evaluation and accountability systems will be aligned to the strategic plan. In terms of our strategies, we are focusing on 3 T's. We're looking at the tools of the evaluation systems in our district for all staff members and all personnel, including rubrics, current standards, best practices in evaluation, performance indicators, and processes. The second T is the technology in our district to support the evaluation systems and the electronic data and capturing that data electronically. And the third T is the training that our employees need to implement updated and improved evaluation systems. Currently, there are evaluation systems in place for all MPS employees, but our functional plan plans to review all of the evaluation systems for our employee groups, to update those and make sure that the employee evaluation systems for all groups are in alignment with our strategic plan. Those are the strategies for goal number 1, found on page 17, page 19, and page 20. Starting on page 21, we have our second goal, which is, again, to review all program, school, department evaluation, and accountability systems, and to ensure that those systems are aligned to the strategic plan. For schools, one of our objectives is that our district will meet 90% of the Wisconsin AYP indicators at the end of the 5 years. And we've got a number of strategies to support that, including our newly created SOS cluster process, which provide increased accountability and support to all of our schools. Differentiated supports provided to our DIFI schools under the direction of Dr. Catherine Tomei. Another one of our school objectives is that 95% of our schools will receive 100% compliance rating on our CIFM, our Continuous Improvement Focused Monitoring System data. And we intend to do that through, again, the work of our SOS team, our cells, plans of assistance for schools where the CIFM data is less than satisfactory, monthly reports, and again, working with those SOS clusters to improve that data. For programs, as Deb Lindsey mentioned, we do want to, over the course of the next 5 years, review at least 10 MPS initiatives and to evaluate those programs, and then when we have the findings of those programs, to ensure that formal plans are developed to address the findings of those initiative reviews. In terms of our departments, we want to ensure that 90% of all of our departments' indicator measures are met. Directors of various departments are going to be asked to review their department's progress on a monthly basis and give quarterly reports to the superintendent. So our functional plan has identified 2 goals, but we think that these goals are very significant, very encompassing, and will lead to the continuous improvement of our students and to build a culture of improvement throughout our district.